I think the interesting thing in my experience was I wanted someone to know really badly. I wanted my parents to just figure it out. Because my abuser had, I think the word they use is groomed, like had groomed me into a way that I was absolutely terrified of people, like that I would be in so much trouble and that they would hate me and that I would be this horrible person. And I was really young. I mean, I was abused like between the ages of 5 and 8. And consistently. And I wanted somebody to find out. I wanted that so badly. And I thought I was dropping hints. Like I would think that I was like, I would say things that like my parents would pick up on, which now I think as a parent, like there's no way. But I think asking your child straight out, there's nothing wrong with that. And there was part of me that wished somebody had, and I think the best thing that my parents ever did was that they did teach me about how my body was mine. And when I finally had the courage to stop the abuse, because I stopped it. I made the conscious decision, like, this isn't going to happen anymore, and I'm not doing this anymore. It was because I was a little bit older, and I had a little more courage, and my parents had taught me things to say and to take care of myself. Like, I remember my mom sitting down and talking to me about, like, the special parts of my body that nobody should touch and nobody should see and things like that. And I think it did give me courage to make it stop. And I think the biggest thing is, unfortunately, it just has to happen young. Like, I was in kindergarten when it started. And, like, you have to talk to your children younger than you think you should, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying that would have made it not happen, because, but maybe it would have helped me be a little bit, I don't know. But I think one of the things that I can remember, this one experience that I thought I was telling my parents and they didn't get it. There was, in our community, my family had moved away and we were living in a new community, and apparently there was a sex offender in the area, and our bishop, our church leader said, talk to your children and make sure that, anyway. So my dad sat down and talked to me very straight up and point blank, and that was wonderful. And he said, Jen, since we moved to Provo, has anybody touched you where they shouldn't, or things like that? And I said, I remember exactly it. I said, since we moved to Provo, no. And I was trying to tell my dad, no, like I was trying so hard, and I wish he would have, which obviously, how would he have picked up on that? But I wish that he would have seen, do you know what I mean? And so I think, obviously I don't blame him, or I'm not upset with him or anything, but I kind of wish that he would have continued asking questions. And I think it's important as parents to remember, like, you are the parent, and it's okay for you to ask appropriate questions of your children. You can just ask them straight up, like, has anybody done this? Or has anybody tried to? Or, and I think, anyway. So I think that would have been awesome. But at the same time, every experience happens for, we can turn it into our good. And I think it was really, really empowering for me to be the one to come to my parents and say, I was abused, and, but I think the reason I was able to do that, though, is because I had local church leaders and other people that reminded me, not personally, but in groups, like, if you're a victim, you're a victim. Haven't done anything wrong. If anybody has touched you or done something in this way, it's not because you've done anything wrong. They've done something wrong. And I think by having people say that more than once and hearing it over and over again, it finally gave me the courage to be empowered and to take control and, you know, say this is what happened. And so, and of course, you know, in the recovery process and in counseling and everything, I went through my ups and downs of, this is my fault. You know, I'm a terrible person. No one's ever going to want to marry me, you know, that kind of thing. And so, yeah, so that was, but in the end, after counseling and a ton of family support, I mean, more just amazing family support, I consider myself, I don't consider myself a victim anymore. I mean, it was something that happened to me, but you know, I guess technically I could still, but I don't consider myself a victim anymore. So.